I'm just an ordinary dairy farmer who's been in the dairy business for a good many years. During these years, I have enjoyed advising a number of other folks who have started in the dairy business. One of these was my neighbor Walt and his wife Doris. Among questions which usually come up are how to do it, why to do it, and if I do it, what's in it for me? I found out what was in it for me a long time ago, and I think it's the neighborly thing to do to try to help other farmers find the answer. In Walt's case, the first problem was to decide what kind of barn he should build. So they looked over some plans for the various types. Later, we took a tour around the country to see some of the barns which had been built from these same plans. This type barn is excellent, but Walt didn't have the money to invest in this size, and he knew it wasn't necessary to have one like this to produce good quality milk. Then we looked at one of the latest designs, which has the pit-type milking parlor. More cows can be handled through this barn with the same amount of help. Another advantage here is that the milker does all of his work in an upright position. This type barn is very popular, and Walt liked it. Next, we looked at a small, economical barn with an adjacent milk house. To Walt, this was ideal because it met the requirements necessary to produce quality milk and yet was not expensive. Of course, there are other types of barns which meet the needs of different sections of the country. When I called for a visit the other day, I was pleased to notice the improvements Walt and Doris have made around the farm. They have found the answer to their question, what's in it for me? And they've learned how methods are as important as equipment. And they're anxious that other farmers might find these answers too. Walt has brought up a couple of his cows, and by going through his regular milking routine, he'll show us how he gets such good results so easily. After washing his hands, Walt prepares a chlorine solution for sanitizing all surfaces of utensils that the milk will touch. He draws hot water into his rinse tank and adds 50% chlorine powder, 1 level teaspoonful for each 2 gallons of water. He knows how necessary it is to control bacteria on his equipment, for it has been shown that 85% of the bacterial contamination in milk comes from utensils. It is now a simple process to sanitize all equipment by dipping each piece into the sanitizing solution. Many people mix up 2 gallons of sanitizing solution in a pail and pour it through each piece, splashing it around to make sure it touches all surfaces. Notice how carefully he places the filter pad in the strainer so that the milk will flow through it instead of around it. The lye solution is drained from the milking machine units and the machine is assembled. Then about 2 gallons of chlorine solution is drawn through the machine to rinse out the lye and sanitize the milker. After taking the milking utensils to the barn, he fills 2 pails with the hot chlorine solution. Walt used hot water so the solution could be used for wiping the cow's udder. 1 pail of solution is used for washing the cow's udders, and the other for sanitizing the teat cups after milking each cow. Dirt and filth will cling to long hair. Notice that Walt has clipped the hair from the cow's udder, which makes them easier to clean. He can quickly remove any dirt from the cow's flanks by brushing. Walt uses the fast milking routine now, but we had quite an argument before I could get him to see the value in it. He was completely sold, however, when he found how fast the cow let down her milk and how quickly the cow milked out after her teats and udders had been washed in a hot chlorine solution. This washing of the teats and udder removes much of the dirt and helps to obtain a low bacteria count. Walt has learned that the use of the strip cup aids in the detection of mastitis, and he uses it on each cow before milking. If he notices any sign of mastitis, the infected cow is isolated from the herd and a veterinarian is consulted. He knows this disease is contagious and may spread through the herd, so an infected cow should be milked last, and such milk, of course, discarded. After putting the milker on the first cow, Walt immediately begins to prepare the other cow for milking. Brushing, wiping her udder, using the strip cup. As an added precaution against mastitis, Walt dips the teat cups into the pail of chlorine solution before putting them onto the next cow. Walt takes the milk into the milk house for pouring and straining. Walt doesn't bang the strainer against the can because he has learned that if by any chance some dirt is present, this can cause it to go right on through the strainer pad. It has become a habit with Walt to check the strainer pads for sediment. In this way, he checks himself to find out if he is doing a good job of cleaning before milking. Regardless of whether Walt has done a good job before milking, his whole purpose will be defeated unless the milk is cooled immediately. Cooling standards may vary in different localities. Rapid, efficient cooling is done with a cooler like this, or in combination with a refrigerator or water cooler. The main thing is to get the cooling job done right and done fast. How it is done is of secondary importance and varies some in different markets. The equipment cleanup is Doris's department, but Walt makes the job a lot easier by immediately rinsing all utensils with lukewarm or cold water to remove the milk. This seemed like extra work to him when we first talked it over, but he found out the little regular effort here made her work twice as easy. It certainly didn't take Walt long to find out that it's a lot easier to clean the barn immediately after milking. The pails of chlorine solution are used for flushing out the gutters. And then Walt sprinkles a bit of lime over the floor to prevent foul odors from accumulating. The first thing Doris does is to draw hot water, as hot as the hands can stand, into both tanks. Then she adds a soapless dairy cleaner in the wash tank. The hot water in the other vat is used for rinsing. Incidentally, notice that the vat has been marked with a line for quickly measuring the amount of water needed. A brush instead of a rag is used for cleaning. A brush will gather only a few bacteria, but a rag will be covered with billions. Rinse with the hottest water you can get, for this pays off in the long run by reducing corrosion and contamination. The equipment is placed upside down on a metal rack to drain dry. The rack permits a circulation of air through the equipment. Doris notices a little milk stone in the milking machine pail. She knows that bacteria live and thrive in milkstone deposits, so it will increase the bacteria count of their milk unless it is removed at once. Hot water, around 140 degrees, is put into the pail, and the correct amount of liquid milkstone remover is added. It is then left to soak until all the other parts are washed. Doris runs the cleaning rod through the milk tubes. She always cleans the air lines, too. And she brushes the inflations. The teat cups and lines are then assembled and placed in a solution rack, filled with a solution of 2 1/2 teaspoons full of lye to a gallon of water. Periodically, say once every week or two, Doris boils all rubber parts in a strong lye solution. This assures her that these parts are free from any milk residue. It is also necessary to draw a lye solution through the air line occasionally. The milkstone remover has quickly softened the deposits on the pail, and the final brushing is easy. Doris always leaves the milk house neat and clean, ready for the next milking. Both Walt and Doris know the danger of undulant fever and septic sore throat, which can be contracted by using raw milk. They don't want to expose their family to these diseases, so Doris pasteurizes the family's milk supply in this small home pasteurizer. Clean, wholesome milk for the family to enjoy. What better reason would they want for doing their job right? Well, folks, right now there's no use in trying to tell you how to produce quality milk. You're interested in this baby. Boy, look at her go for that ice cream. Would you want your baby to eat ice cream or any milk product without knowing it was of the highest quality? Just to be sure that this tiny tot and all other youngsters were assured of clean, wholesome milk and milk products to enjoy would be the answer enough for Walt, or for any milk producer, to the question, what's in it for me? But aside from this, there is another reason for doing his job right. There's the higher income to be derived from good quality milk. And Walt knows that all his good work can go for naught unless the milk is properly handled from the time it is picked up until it reaches the consumer. He sells to a plant where the haulers use enclosed trucks and maintain a regular pickup schedule. The milk is unloaded immediately upon arrival at the plant. Walt is proud of the milk he is producing and is interested in seeing what happens to his product at the processing plant. He observes the quality check the milk receives at the receiving platform, where it is checked for taste, odor, and temperature. The plant is proud of the milk Walt produces and, in turn, is proud of the products it distributes to the consumer. Walt observes while they check for sediment. While they take a sample for measuring the butterfat content. and while it is being pasteurized. Since we are at the plant, let's take a look in the lab. Walt can use the knowledge supplied by laboratory reports to correct and improve his own methods. He follows the milk until it is put into the bottle. Milk from Walt's farm is bottled, but it might have been used to make cheese, such as the cheddar cheese being made here. These are just a few of the various steps necessary in the process of making cheddar cheese. The milk might have been used for making butter or for ice cream. And in the manufacture of all these milk products, the quality of the milk makes the difference. We all know that high-quality milk means better milk to drink. High quality means better butter. High quality means better cheese. High quality means better cottage cheese. High quality means better ice cream. The quality of these products depend to a large extent upon the quality of the milk. As the quality of all these products improves, people will like them better. A good part of all milk produced and processed is sold to the housewife. When she knows that the products are of high quality and her family enjoys them, she'll buy more. Then, of course, the market for these products will grow. This increased market, which is developed by quality, will bring greater profits to you. That's what you're working for. So, what's in it for me? Well, my friends, it's up to you. Fine craftsmen use good tools. Make sure you get what's in it for you by using the right product to do the right job. This is BK chlorine-bearing powder, used for sanitizing all equipment and wiping udders just before milking. This is GMK, a top-grade soapless dairy washing powder, compounded to meet the needs and conditions farmers have in most parts of the country. But some farmers encounter hard water troubles. MC3, a super cleaner, will do the job here. Pen Clean is a milkstone and scale remover for milking machines and milk utensils. For the soap solution and for the periodic boiling out of milking machines, here is Lewis & Eagle High Test Lye.